Hello everybody and welcome to Letters from the Past Undusted. This is a cleaning game where we're going to be using our trusty toothbrush to clean up various items and learn about Adora, this girl here, learn about her story a little bit more through doing that. Thank you very much to 5 Minute Lab Corp and Toge Productions for sending along a key for this one so I could play it. So it's out fully at the moment. So let's jump in. When I think of my family home, the first things that come to mind are the glittering lake and the gently sloping hills. After walking through the bustling streets, over the hills and along the lakeside, my house and its bright red roof soon came into view. I would chat with Mom and Dad as we passed through the front gate together, and the big lemon tree in the yard would always greet us. For someone like me who lacked courage, maybe all I needed was an excuse, no matter how small. The letter from my aunt was enough. Dear Adora, long time no see. How have you been? Are you doing all the things you've always wanted to do? It's been a while since I heard from you. Come to think of it, the last time we saw each other was at Lily's funeral. I'm sorry to trouble you after all this time, but I can't find the necklace your mother gave me. I'm fairly certain that I left it at your house after one of my visits. I really thought I'd lost it for good, you know? I know it's a bit of a hassle, but could you send it to me? It should be in the attic. That's where Lily and I spent most of our time together when I was over. Thank you. Love, your aunt. Does she have a name? It's been a long time since I last came back. I should tidy up the place. I suppose now is the right time. For the time being, it's the least I can do. The key. Ah, here it is. It's rusted all over. I'll have to clean it before I can use it. Okay, so we've got this lovely, pixel art, but very, very detailed pixel art look to this game, and it's really quite pretty and attractive. I really, really like it. It gives it such style. So I'm going to pick up my toothbrush and I'm going to start cleaning up this key. And to make sure we get into all the corners and all the little nooks and crannies. As much of it as we can. It keeps going, doesn't it? Use the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. So we can zoom in, find some bits, and then hold right click and drag the mouse to rotate the key. All inside these little grooves and everything. So probably give it a bit of a turn around. You'll get a lot of different angles on it and things. Do that big bit down there. Then probably there'll be some on the sides. Big bit there on the sides. Hold the mouse wheel and drag the mouse around to move the key. Oh, okay, so mouse wheel and right click both work for that. Reaching 99% will enable you to wrap up. Finish cleaning by reaching 100% or pressing the wrap up button. So just gonna make sure I've got in that hole there enough. All the angles. I want to try. I got 99.7. Up here, maybe. On the end there. Yeah, there was a bit on the end there, look. In there. It's going to be hard to find this last tiny pixel hunt bit, but I don't know, maybe later I'll get some kind of scanner where I can see where the dirt is or something. I just keep going all over it until yay, I found wherever it was. When was the last time this place was cleaned? There's so much dust I can barely breathe. I need to go to the attic, find that necklace. Huh? Why is it locked? Now I think of it, I've hardly ever been into the attic. Mum was always the one in charge of it. Oh well, I need to clean the rest of the house anyway. The attic key should eventually turn up. Where should I even start? Oh, so that was just the key to the front door, I'm guessing. So the house key, it hasn't been used in a long time. So now we're going to go around the house looking for the key to the attic. After being neglected for so long, the house was so heavily laden with dust I needed a mask to breathe normally. I opened a window and started clearing out some of the dust. When it was cleaning day, I used to be in charge of the floors. Mum took care of the furniture and Dad handled the windows and any tall places that were out of reach. If I closed my eyes, I could almost hear it all again. The sounds of Mum wiping down the furniture, Dad's humming. While cleaning the living room, I found a dust-covered photo frame on a shelf. Housed inside was our first family photo. Chapter 0 complete. Which I had already done for a little, So, memories beneath the dust, the house key. Next is going to be cleaning the photo frame. So I'd already had a little go at that one just to make sure that the game was, working and happy and everything, as I often do. But we have not had a look at the special photo yet, so I don't know what that's going to be about. When we went to take our first family photo, Dad had made a peculiar suggestion. While it wasn't unusual for him to say or do something quirky, none of us saw it coming. Why don't we all wear animal costumes? It will be Adora's first ever family photo, so let's make it a special and unforgettable experience. He pleaded like a giddy child, arms wrapped firmly around a large costume. Mum let out a deep sigh. Here we go again. Firmly wrapped even. Still works. All right, so let's get this guy clean. So now we have a sponge. Wow. It was massive. He really loved his jokes and pranks. A complete 180 from Mum. Right. So I'm guessing... Oh, good grief. Look at the dust on this thing. It's actually a wooden frame. Wow. I like that each time you're given the kind of right tool for the job, effectively. We never ended up wearing costumes like you'd wanted to. Oh, I was looking forward to a cute animal costume picture. It would have been so cute. It would have been adorable. Get this little edge bit done. Ah, you know what? Let's go around the back. Let's get a nice big chunk of it done. I know, I can get impatient sometimes. I've got to do the pixel hunting eventually. Hints unlocked. Can I turn the sponge? No. There are no hints for this one. Unless there's like a hint button that will show up the dirt that I've missed or something. But it hasn't told me where the hint button is, if there is one, so... At this point I can wrap it up. I can see a bit more dust there. Probably like those corners. They look like they're little dust traps, don't they? These little corners here. Seems like I was quite thorough with the back, so there might be something more on the front or sides. There we go. Haha. Achieve 100% in any stage without help. Well, where's this help? Honey, don't you think there's a reason why people take more traditional photos? Because they couldn't come up with anything creative. Are you serious? Can't we just take a normal picture? But, Adora, look at this. What a cute cat. Ah, so you're only trying to talk Adora into your plan now. Our very first family photo, a seemingly ordinary picture with an amusing story behind it. Aww. And so ensued a battle between an unstoppable father and an immovable... I like that. It's what, an unstoppable something and an immovable force, isn't it? That's a saying. Let me know in the comments the full saying because I forgot half of it, okay? And so ensued a battle between an unstoppable father and an immovable mother. As always, Mom won, leaving Dad with his shoulders hunched in defeat. Dad looks so sad. Like, if that was my child's father, I don't think I'd be able to like resist that face. We'd have two photos taken. We'd have one with the costumes and one without. While Mum was talking to the photographer, I snuck over to Dad and whispered, "Let's wear costumes next time." He only responded with a slight nod. When I looked at the photo afterwards, I saw that he'd given me bunny ears. Mum noticed shortly afterwards and gave Dad a light rap on the head, but the sheer dad-like triumph on his face sent us all into a fit of laughter. That's lovely. He got a small victory there. All right, a fitting appearance. Just gonna clean this item. I don't know what story this will have behind it. I'm trying to see how much we've got to go. 16 different things to clean before we get to the attic key. Wow. Let's go. Let's do this one. When I was young, Mum often told me it was dangerous to go to the kitchen or attic alone. But the more someone told me not to do something, the more I wanted to do it. One day when Mum and Dad were out, I excitedly went into the kitchen to examine the cupboard that was just barely within reach. My heart was pounding as I opened the cupboard. There were many beautiful porcelain teacups, and I took out the one I thought was prettiest. Didn't do what my sister did then, and climb up onto the cabinet by pulling onto it and brought the entire top of the kitchen down on her head. Yep. Suddenly, the front door opened with a creak. Someone was back. Crash! It was the sound of porcelain breaking on the floor. The teacup had slipped out of my hands. The sharp sound of shattering porcelain froze me in place. I heard my mom urgently calling my name. Once she came into the kitchen and saw what had happened, her face froze. Oh, so we're going to clean the chipped cup. That's our Beauty and the Beast moment. Okay, we've got a toothbrush and a sponge this time. Her face was so pale and stern. I'd never seen her look like that before. Oh, Adora. We'll start with the sponge. Get the biggest amounts of it off, and then if there's some little bits that we can't get into with the sponge, we will toothbrush them. What's the symbol? It must have some kind of meaning. I think it's upside down at the moment. I think that's the right way up. It looks like a kind of totem. Oh, it's blue inside. Nice. It's pretty. Yeah, we'll need the toothbrush to get around the cracks, I think. See, I can't talk because I gotta have my tongue on. Gotta have my tongue slightly out of my mouth in concentration. We're getting a lot of it with the sponge. The more we can get with the sponge, I imagine the toothbrush is going to take absolutely a million years to do anything. So the more I can get with the sponge before I have to move to the toothbrush, the better this is going to be. Especially considering we've still got 40% of it to go. Get some of that base done. Hints unlocked. I want to try and see about how to get a hint. Like, let's have a look in options. Cleaning toggle mode. What's that? Use a single button to turn continuous cleaning on or off. Oh, okay, that's cool. Key bindings. Hint is tab. There we are. Did it tell me that at any point? If it did, then I apologize for missing that. Get this little bit in here, I think, and then I think we might want to go to the toothbrush for a little bit, because it's just a bit, it's going to get into all of these little bits in between here. You can just see dirt in those little cracks and crevices that's just not being got by the and the cracks there, just not being got by the sponge. The sponge does such a bigger area. Is that even a sentence that I just said there? No, probably not. The sponge does a much larger area. Cleans a much larger area even, you know, actually let's be specific in our sentences too. One day I will learn to speak. We're 85 now, so I can imagine that probably all these cracks inside here need a good old scrub, and then we're probably going to be close to our 90% at that point. Oh, in there is all dirty. Look at that. Oof. 97. It's probably not going to be a big amount that I've missed at this point. There'll be lots of little bits hiding. Let's try around the rim here again, because that... There, maybe? Yeah, that got a little bit. The one thing with the pixel art is sometimes it can be hard to know whether it's trying to do a shadow or dirt. A little bit inside the handle there. Go over kind of everything a little bit because it might just be spread everywhere. So tab for a hint. Oh, I see. Well, I've got the achievement for doing it without the hint, so from now on we'll probably do it with the hint at the end, just when we're pixel hunting, having that orange. It's highly useful. Still missed a tiny bit on the handle there. There we are, we've cleared level 3. Mom is angry. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to break it. Adora, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. And I even broke one of the teacups. It's okay, Adora. Everything's okay as long as you aren't hurt. A porcelain teacup that's barely intact. One of Mom's most treasured possessions. Yeah, my sister, by the way, was completely unhurt in the little accident she had with the kitchen cabinets. She was very athletic. She jumped out the way. If I'd have done the same thing, I'd probably have a broken leg. Okay. A broken head or something. After giving me a big hug, she started to carefully gather the shards of porcelain in silence. I still couldn't forget how she had looked at the broken teacup. The next day, I secretly retrieved the shards from the trash and clumsily glued everything back together. Then, I returned the fragile teacup to its place in the cupboard, hoping Mum would feel better after seeing it. When Mum discovered the teacup later, she murmured, "This is a much more fitting appearance." I didn't understand why, but her smile looked bitter. Does Mum kind of know that she's ill, so she's like, well, I'm broken, so the teacup should be broken also. I'm not really sure. That sounds ominous. So we're going through the whole story. So I love that it's a chipped cup story. That, like I say, it just Beauty and the Beast. I love that story. Okay, so what glows in the dark? Clean the item is an ink pot, by the looks of it. Mom loved writing with fountain pens, no matter how long the letter or document. Whenever I asked if it was tiring to write so much by hand, she'd always say it's difficult, but it's worth it. For me, my hands do not cope well with pens. Like, I hate having pens pressing down on my knuckles, and it hurts my hands. It really, really isn't nice for me. And at school, they used to like insist that we write with fountain pen, and it just was such a struggle. I'm so glad I have a career now where everything is typing on a keyboard and my fingers can be stretched out, not cramped into a little ball. Mum had a routine before writing. First, she would sit at her desk with perfect posture, and she'd neatly lay out a fresh sheet of paper. Finally, she'd select one ink bottle from her collection and gracefully dip the nib of her exquisite fountain pen. Oh, I used to use cartridge pens. Dipping it in the ink would just be a nightmare waiting to happen for me. I'd knock it over like 10 times out of 10. I loved watching this process, so I used to sit quietly beside her whenever she took up her pen. Watching her fill empty sheets of paper with her handwriting imparted a special feeling I couldn't experience anywhere else. Also, I don't know what I'm doing with my back to front words today, I swear. She had so many inkwells. Sometimes I'd spend half a day just looking at them all. I don't think she used this one very often. Let's get sponging. Yeah, making weird noises. Shush. This is my ASMR, okay? I'm gonna be an ASMR streamer. Yeah. That's gonna really work for me. I'm way too loud to do that. I'll sit there and I'll whisper and creep everybody out. Some people have the talent for that sort of thing. I do not. Right, so I'll need to get around that cork and around the neck of the bottle in a minute. It is getting a bit rough to clean. Can we not have some soap or something? Can I not like get the scrubby part of this? I think the toothbrush will be needed for some of those stains, honestly. Its bristles are just a bit... nicer to use on things like this. So again, I'm just trying to do what I can without the hints, but if we get to the end and there's a few bits that I really just can't see, then we'll use hints for it, because we don't want to be here all day. And I already got the achievement. Although this one, like, the dirt is standing out quite nicely, so... Oh, so maybe some of the ink stains won't clean off at all. Get in there. I can see you. I can see you there. So we're on 98% at the moment. I'm not sure if those are stains that will come off. Hmm. That might be where the hint will come in handy. Tell me what's actually a stain that will be removable and what isn't. Oh, there's a few bits around the label here, look. I love that the ink moves in the pot. Okay, I think this might be where a hint will come in handy. I'll go over the label one more time because that did seem to be a place where... And I'll go over the cork one more time. Yep, so... That is true pixel hunting. There was 3 pixels that I needed to find, and I don't even think it's cheating to use a hint for 3 pixels. That would have taken me forever to find. Only in the darkest of nights can you discover the star hidden within. Lewis. Oh, Lewis is the maker of the ink. So, Blue Ink Edition. That's a quote from Mom's favourite writer. Ah. Why is it written on here? Well, clearly it's her merch line, right? Because it's a limited edition ink. Dad and I were still university students, so it took him a lot of hard work to buy it. But it looks new. Is it because you don't want to waste it? Adora, let me show you something. If you write with this ink and then turn off the lights, can you see the words glowing? The darker the room is, the brighter the ink shines. Oh, wow. To Adora, Lily, and Ash's beloved daughter, you need to eat a variety of foods to grow big and strong. But I hate carrots. If you become brave enough to finish your carrots, I'll give you a fountain pen as a present. Aww. A special ink that glows in the dark, a quote from a famous writer, is displayed on the label. I adored fountain pens, so it was an irresistible offer. Mom looked into my awestruck eyes and said, "Do you know why I love fountain pens? Because you can learn about someone through their handwriting." What would you learn about me? I can't, like, connect up certain letters and things. Even if I wrote something without much thought behind it, I learn more about myself after reading those words. She gently closed the inkwell. For some reason after that day, I never saw her use a fountain pen again. So that's what glows in the dark. The ink glows in the dark. Achieving happiness. Clean the item. Is that a stuffed toy that's got a plant growing out of it? That's worrying. Maybe we'll need some, like, trimmers. Hopefully it's a plant pot. Dad absolutely loved music. Whenever he could, he'd be humming or playing various instruments. Like me. He told me that he used to be in a children's choir, like me, and that he had joined a band during his university days. Oh, I didn't do that. Whenever he returned home from work, he'd sing a little song he composed, titled Dad Loves Coming Home. Well, Avak and I just make up, like, songs for the pets. We have so many little songs and things for, like, Athena and the other ferrets when they were alive, and probably a couple for Tilly too. Mum would always warn him about disturbing the neighbours, but she could never mask her smile. Thanks to Dad, music enriched every dimension of our lives. Is this going to be a musical instrument or something then? Well, I guess we'll find out. And as usual, we'll read out the thing before we start cleaning. Jumping the gun there, Sheelab. The first line always made me laugh. What was it again? You can't hold me back, I'm free. No one can ever stop me. Was that it? I want to know all the lyrics to Dad's special song. Yes, I think this might be a little kind of ocarina or something. Oh gosh, yeah. We did actually knock off the tree. This one's going to have lots and lots of things to need doing with the toothbrush, I think. Let's do its belly. It's got barnacles on it. What an interesting look. If that is an ocarina, that's a really interesting one. The whole placements are kind of crazy. I guess you'd blow down the mouth, and then you'd have your thumb on the hole at the back there. That's a bigger hole, so that's probably a thumb hole. And then maybe occasionally would put your thumb across those ones. Then I'm imagining your fingers would go on the top of the shell. If you've ever seen any kind of like, and I don't know if it is technically an ocarina or something else. So if you've ever seen anything like this. Sorry, I'm just playing little like mini tunes on it. I'm like, whoa, you can play mini tunes on it. I'm gonna put the sponge down and get the toothbrush out now because it is just really all about the little cracks in between, isn't it, here? It's okay, little turtle instrument. We'll get you clean, whatever instrument you are. I'm not sure exactly what kind of instrument you are, but we'll get you clean anyway. And maybe play a little tune as we go. Yeah, so far in the comments, you've got to let me know the proper form of that quote from earlier about immovable objects and things. Oh, is it an immovable object and an implaceable force or something? Yeah, it's something like that. Unstoppable force, immovable object, isn't it? That's what it is. But also let me know what this musical instrument is if you know. I can still see dirt on it without even taking a hint. There's one there. The dirt's kind of orangey and the turtle is kind of blue and shiny. Look how shiny he is now. There's one in his legs there. And one up here. A little bit there, I think. Look at his other legs, because the legs are a very likely place for him to have a bit of dirt. Clean his tail again a bit. Oh, I see some just on the edge of his shell here, I think. And at that point, I think... Oh, no, around the hole there. I thought that was something anyway. Right, now we need to know where the pixels are. I did say it'd be around the legs, didn't I? I was right. There we are, 100%. A little ditty. Clear level 5. Aww. Adora, I'm done. After my hit single, Dad Loves Coming Home, my newest release is... Dad Loves the Weekend. Dad, you sure you're not a kid too? Aw, no, but you make him into one, and that's why you're so special, Adora. Haha, you got me since my secret's out. How about a song? Where'd I put my ocarina? It was an ocarina. Dad, if you love music so much, why'd you become an accountant? Music and accounting are completely different. And they pay completely different. That's a good question, Adora. You see, I love music, but it doesn't mean I can't live without it. On the other hand, I get itchy if I don't work with numbers for even a single day. Ah. To achieve happiness, it's not about doing what you want. It's about doing what you can't live without. When you find something like that, you'll understand exactly how I feel. Like, I like music, but I can't live without games. I'd rather play games than do almost anything else. So, like, I have the ideal job, right? Except maybe eat chocolate. A cute turtle-shaped ocarina. Dad often played his own songs on it, but if my entire job was eating chocolate, that wouldn't be too good for me, would it? Dad then started to joyfully play his ocarina. His face was that of a man who had everything he needed to be happy. I suddenly grew curious and asked, "Then what can't you live without?" He replied, "Lily and Adora. That's why I'm the happiest man in the world." He then declared that his next song would be named Dad is Super Duper Happy. Despite my laughter, I couldn't wait to hear the next release in his Dad series. I often found myself humming his songs, and his words stayed with me. Would I also find something I couldn't live without? I can't see this ending well. A cute turtle-shaped ocarina. Dad often played his own songs on it. Aw, discreet apology. So half an hour in, we're at number 6. I don't know, this is chapter 1, Once Upon a Time, so I feel like there might be more chapters after this. So I need to get a wiggle on, don't I, if we want to get at least to the attic. I want to get at least chapter 1 done by the end of the video. Maybe some of chapter 2 if we're allowed to do chapter 2. We should be. I've got the full game, so thanks to, you know, 5 Minute Lab Corp and Toge Productions who gave me the key. One day on our way home, I sound like an ad there, isn't it? They just gave me a key. They haven't paid me or anything. In fact, one thing I would like to say is that generally speaking, my opinions are my own. Well, actually always my opinions are my own. I don't take money to say a game is good or anything like that. I play my games, and whatever comes out of my mouth is what comes out of my mouth. If your game is good enough, good things will come out of my mouth, okay? One day on our way home, we came across a cute kitten crying by its lonesome. I couldn't bear to leave it there by myself, so I begged my parents to let me bring it back with us. Without hesitation, Dad started brainstorming ways to lure the kitten. Should we get some food as bait? How about foxtail grass? Maybe a cardboard box? Dad and I excitedly exchanged ideas, but after a few minutes we realized Mom hadn't said a single word. Maybe Mom doesn't want cats or something. What's this? This is a new cleaning device. Dad really had the heart of a child. Instead of stopping me, he joined right in. What is this? What is it? Is it like oh, I think it might be a steamer. We're steam cleaning it. That's what it is. I was like, is it a shaver? No, I wouldn't shave it. No, it's a steamer. As you can tell by the steam coming off of it. Now I've got to tell which bits are dirt and which bits are patterns Otherwise, I'll be going over the same bit for ages. This is so soothing. I like the way the teddy moves under the steamer is so satisfying. Because I have played a lot of games like this one, like where you clean things up. I really do feel like this is one of the very much better ones. Because of reasons like that, the tactile sort of sensory motion of it. That makes no sense, but you know what I mean. Feels good. I feel like this one's got a good contrast. I should be able to get quite a lot of it before I need to take any hints because it's got a good contrast. So it's relatively easy to see the dirt, but there might be some bits that I may be mistaking for pattern. On his ear there. There might be a bit here possibly. I like steaming the cat. Maybe I should go get my little Care Bear and steam that. I would need a steamer first, though. I recently became the proud owner of a Care Bear Udi. It was rather wonderful. Oh, okay. No, we got it. We cleared it without a hint. I don't think we're ready to own a cat. We don't know how to properly care for one. They really aren't that hard. And we don't have any cat food or supplies. How can we care for it if we can't fulfill its needs? But, Lily, aren't you being a bit too serious? Of course having a pet is a huge responsibility. But Adora can learn how to be responsible by taking care of it. And we can buy whatever supplies we need. What if its mother is still around? We might be taking a child from its parent. She could have been abandoned. That isn't something we know for sure. No means no, Adora. You could also be leaving the kitten there to die, so that's not great either. A striped cat plushie. It's soft and makes cute sounds when you squeeze it. I could understand if they were at the pet shop and it was like, no, but you need to do something with that cat. It's like, it could be, you know, maybe monitor it or something at least. Maybe they are, but they just want to make sure that Adora knows that that's not a thing that's going to happen, like keeping the cat. And that's fine. I was so upset that after we returned home, I slammed my door shut and refused to leave my room. That evening, Dad came over and gave me a stuffed animal. It was soft, fluffy, and looked like the kitten from before. Mom bought this for you, but she didn't know how to give it to you. The softness of the plushie mollified the sadness in my heart. A few days later, I saw the same kitten at the same spot. This time, though, it was with another cat, with a matching coat, its mother. Mom was right. If I had taken the kitten home, I couldn't help but feel ashamed. So there we go. The kitten did have a mom. But also, did they have an owner? Because that still means we've got street kittens that probably need to be TNR'd. You know? A striped cat plushie. It's soft and makes cute sounds. Unforgettable moments. Oh, this is going to be a snow globe. Really? My hometown was always too warm for snow. Unlike mine. I love snow so much. I love slipping around in it. When it's all slushy and horrible on the pavement. If any snow did happen to fall, it would melt as soon as it touched the ground. Things like snowball fights and snowmen only existed in TV shows and fiction. I feel like snow is better in the countryside. Some of my childhood wishes included leaving footprints in fresh white snow. Yes, I like the fresh white snow. That's the good snow. Making snow angels and building a huge snowman. When we finally had time for a family trip, I begged to go somewhere with an abundance of snow. Did you go skiing or something? And that's how we ended up having a snowy vacation. Thanks to that, I got to check off a lot of things on my bucket list. Oh, okay, we've got polishing to do as well. Look, we've got a cloth now. Like I say, I love the fact that each one has its own bespoke. Too pretty to clean. Clean off a flower. Oh no. They are pretty, but if they're not meant to be on there, they're not meant to be on there. Bye-bye, flowers. They may be an achievement, possibly, for keeping the flowers on. But whether you'll manage to get your 100% or 99% while leaving them on, I'm not certain. So for this playthrough, we're going to clean off the flowers. So I imagine we're going to need bit of toothbrush action around the little creasy bits around here, the little nooks and crannies, and then we're going to need to take the cloth and polish. So I'll do a bit of toothbrush work. I'm going to need to take the cloth and polish the globe. Okay, there we are. Oh yeah, that is not gold leaf. That is just dirt. Okay, I think we've done a relatively good job with the toothbrush now. So I think polishing cloth. And then we'll get to see. Oh, I got an achievement for using the cloth. Squeak, it's called. Squeak. Squeaky, squeaky. There are some bits that I didn't manage to get with the sponge there, so I'll have to go over that with the sponge again, I think. Because they're not coming off with the cloth, so I figure they are spongy bits. It was kind of hard, to be fair, it's kind of hard to see what you need to clean with the sponge while there's all the stuff on there that needs to be taken off with the cloth. That down there looks like it's maybe cloth stuff. Do you know what this reminds me of? When you clean one side of a window and you don't know whether the dirt is on that side or the other side. I think that's cloth. That's why when you get a hint, it tells you what you need to use. No, that is not apparently. Oh yeah, that was a cloth one. Okay. 199.85. I can see a bit there that needs a toothbrush. There's a little bit there that needs maybe a cloth. I'm starting to think, oh, I've got a speck on my monitor or something. Looks like maybe it needs a little going over. Not certain there. Oh, just that little bit around. Ah, okay. Around here. Of course, that's going to be hard to see because that's gold and so is the dirt. Snow-capped. Dad, the snow crunches when you step on it. And when you lie down, it's so soft and fluffy. Really? And I want to lie down too. Oh, you're right, Adora. It really is soft. They must be somewhere where they have powder snow, not somewhere where they have wet snow. You lie down in the snow in Scotland, you're going to have a wet bum. I saw on the TV that if you wave your arms and legs like this, you can make a huge snow angel. And how about we make some big snow angels to watch over our family? Okay, marshmallows are ready. You two better eat first, or you won't have enough energy to play. Marshmallow energy. Sounds good. I like. Especially, you need to put them on hot chocolate, okay? And if you make a hot chocolate with marshmallows and cream, rookie mistake is to put the cream on and then put the marshmallows on top. That's not what you want to do. You need to get those marshmallow bad boys. You need to get those marshmallows on the hot chocolate so they melt in and then get the cream on top. It might not look as pretty, but it's going to be way nicer. Okay, a snow globe we purchased on a family trip. It evokes many happy memories. Look, I know my hot chocolate, okay? We made giant snow angels, built snowmen, and had an all-out snowball fight with no regard for how snow-crusted our clothes became. After it grew dark, we gathered around the fireplace and drank sweet cocoa. I hope they put the marshmallows in first. As the comforting warmth of the fire lulled me to sleep, I could hear Dad humming and Mom turning the pages of her book. On our way home, we bought a snow globe to commemorate all the wonderful memories from our vacation. However, since some time ago, I had deliberately hid the snow globe out of sight. Those warm memories became a source of agony as they reminded me of days I could never return to. After a while, they become warm again. And depending on... Oh, no, this is chapter 2. Ah, okay. What I dreamed of. So we're going to start maybe... So I think this is covering sort of up to 7 is covering Adora's childhood. And then maybe chapter 2 is going to start to cover what happened. So it might be getting sad from here on out, okay? Just warning. I'd hoped to find the attic key in the living room, but it didn't turn up. So I decided to search my room next. Ah, so we're moving rooms. That's why it's a new chapter. It looks exactly as it did on the day I left home. Only the thick layer of dust on everything indicated any passage of time. My focus was drawn to my desk, where Dad's pocket watch lay. There used to be a time when its cogs still turned and its soft ticking could still be heard. When Mum gave Dad this pocket watch, Dad was delighted with the engraved design. A lily, just like Mum's name. Wherever Dad went, so too did the pocket watch. Shortly after I started high school, the pocket watch fell silent for good. So it sounds like something happened to Ash as well. I mean, we heard about Lily's funeral from the aunt, but it seems like something also happened to Ash. Oh, the shadow of the rain. That's so nice. Raindrops are just like... Sorry, I am a sucker for facts like that. I really like it. Dad, how are you doing? Are you still cracking jokes over there? I don't think I'm doing that well. Flip it over. Fenner. I feel like that handle bit up the top might need a bit of toothbrush action. We'll give it a good old scrub up with the sponge first. Then I might give it... Yeah, I'll give that a little bit of toothbrush. Oh, and in there as well. Look, that's all dirt. That's... Sometimes I kind of think, oh, well, that's just like a pattern or a darkening effect in a groove, but I always have to check in case it is dirt. Get all around that hinge there. Absolute dirt magnet, that, I'm sure. Why is that? Haha. Push the pocket watches button to open it with these hands. I was like, A, there's not enough stuff here for the amount I've done, and B, that's glowing. Etched in heart. So, also, the other clue is that it gave you a cloth, but there was no glass visible. I was sort of gushing over that sort of interactivity in I think it was Power Washer Simulator. I'm terrible for getting that wrong. Power Washer Simulator 2 that had a demo out recently, and it had this whole sort of interactive, you cleaned a little bit and then something else would pop up and then another thing would pop up, and it was really cool. That might just be a little bit of sort of tarnishing that you can't get off, but I'll go back to that later if I'm struggling to find the end of it. But let's oh, it's broken. I'm not even sure I want to know when that got smashed. I worry it was an accident or something. Right, 97. So what are we missing? Yeah, that's enough to wrap it up. Which means there'll be some pixel hunting to do. Just check the inside of the hinge. Underneath there as well. That's a likely one. All around that groove there. All around that groove there. And if I can't find it by the time I've done all of that, then we'll have a little look using the hint. This is another one where I think the textures make it hard to see some of the dirt. Nearly spotless, clean 8 objects to 100%. So it is worth going for the 100%. Adora, how many times have I told you not to call the office directly? You're usually back by now. Oh, so this is teenage Adora. And I couldn't get in touch with you. Oh, I'm sorry. I got caught up in work and completely lost track of time. I'll make sure to check my phone more often from now on, but please text instead of call. All right. Oh, yeah, Mom, I was cleaning my room earlier and I found the cassette player Dad gave me. I'm sorry, Adora, but I still have a lot of work to do. Don't wait for me, and make sure you don't go to bed too late. I feel like she was saying like Dad wasn't there by high school, so I was getting the impression that Mom went first, but it sounds to me like Dad went first. Mom, wait, It's a broken pocket watch, as time remains eternally frozen, just like my family's. I feel like Mom might have been staying late at work there to avoid coming home and seeing all the memories, and also a little bit maybe to avoid having to deal with Adora's emotions as well. I desperately needed Mom, but she threw herself into work as if she wanted to forget Dad and maybe all of us. Days passed and we barely spoke to or even saw each other. I kept telling myself that I had to try to understand her, that she was raising me all by herself now. But my grief and sorrow grew nearly unbearable as they rendered my nights sleepless. Things would have been much easier if I had just blamed her. Yet whenever I saw Mom so exhausted and fatigued, sadness came before anger. I hated her for leaving me alone, but at the same time it pained me to see her eroding away. As much as I longed for her comfort, I wanted to comfort her too. Oh, have I been getting like 100% perfect, like, things on it? Oh yeah, little stamps every time I get 100%. What I found in the darkness. Oh, that'd be the old Walkman. When I couldn't stand the silence in the house, I would listen to Dad's tapes. Listening to those songs made it feel like he was right there beside me. One day I heard a composer tell her story on a radio show. When I was a kid, my father used to hum songs he had wrote himself, so I became interested in music. I hardly saw him after my parents divorced. Oh, it was a divorce, was it? Oh, no. Okay, it's the composer, his parents divorced. But whenever I sang his songs, I felt like I was back in those happy childhood days. That's how I started composing. For me, it's a way of bringing comfort not only to me, but to others in similar circumstances. I could see myself in his story, and his song resonated with me. Naturally, I admired him. Finally, I understood what Dad had meant. I wanted to tell him that I found something I couldn't live without doing. I found a part-time job and started saving money for composing tools. When Mum asked me about it, I thought she was finally taking some interest in my life. I think it still works. Should I turn it on now? Like a little beat deck thing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the interactivity of these cleaning tasks. The fact that they've got little bits of music and things in them just really appeals to me. I enjoy music and I enjoy singing. I enjoy playing my guitar. I used to enjoy playing my clarinet before the box on it. The catch is really bad. The catch on the box was loose and I picked it up and it fell out and smashed a key. So, and the key was like the it was one of the important ones, let's put it that way. It was the one of the ones in the middle that sort of changes. It wasn't the register key, it was one around the front, and it just, yeah, it completely changed all the notation. It just, no, didn't work then. So I'd either need to get that section of keys replaced or get a new clarinet at this point. I'll not get rid of it though, because it was my grandfather's. So maybe one day I will get it out and fix it up. But for now, I play my guitar and I sing. Quite a lot of like little fiddly bits on this. Fiddly keys and fiddly buttons and things. Oh, that really shined up that little on switch, didn't it? Wow. Let's go around the headphone jack a bit. Ah, nice. And around that battery bit. Oh, there's nothing worse, is it? Well, there's probably lots of things worse. I always say there's nothing worse, but there's probably lots of things worse. But when you've got tiny little screws and you're trying to change a battery and you've got to find a tiny screwdriver. Luckily, we live in a house where a lot of stuff is done with computers, so we have tiny screwdrivers, but still. All you want to do is just open the battery compartment and you've got tiny, stupid screws in there. And then half the time you get about 3 or 4 times of unscrewing them because they're so tiny and fragile. You get a couple of times of unscrewing them and then the threads have gone. Maybe that's user. Maybe that's like a skill issue though. Maybe I should just be better at untightening screws. looks like a scratch. Unfortunately, I don't think that's actually something I can do. I can... All right, there's a little bit in there. A little bit on the side of that button. And what I'll probably need to do as well is move the slider. So I can just see if there's any mess under there, which there indeed is. We're on 99.2. The other thing I can do is move these around to see if there's any gunk underneath those. Maybe a tiny bit. But overall, I think that's okay. So we managed to get to 99.25. I'll clean the screws one more time. And maybe in that bit there. That looks like a bit that would harbour some dirt. Right. A little bit on the slider. A little bit on there. Oh yeah, that's barely visible, but it is there indeed. Come on, you. I don't know if that's going to need... There's definitely some bits on that little knob there, but I don't know if it's just going to need a good old scrub. Right, let's get that bit up there then. I can only turn the object, I believe, not the brush. Oh, we're 99.55, and I am not even slightly seeing, even with the hint on, where that final piece of dirt is. So my thoughts are it's going to either be under a knob or a slider. Let's move the slider. Let's just move the knobs around a bit. See again if I can see where it is. It's unusual that even with the hint I can't see. It's the first one that has caused me this issue. I'm just going to take the toothbrush and just go over the jack, just in case that's a problem. This might be the first one where I can't 100% it. Let me know again in the comments if there's anything like really obvious that I've missed. But it's not picking anything up. So I either just go over the entire thing again with a toothbrush and hope that I somehow pick up. I'm gonna look in that grill there. No. Oh, that's an on slider there. I haven't done that. Hang on. Ah, gotcha. There we are. I knew there was something I was missing. Mom, you're late again. You must be exhausted. Yes, a little. How was your day? Adora, what are all those things? Oh, these? A MIDI controller and microphone. They're tools for composing. Mm-hmm. By composing? Do you mean composing music? Uh-huh. I started making songs, little by little, and I got a part-time job to buy these tools myself. Wait, Adora, a part-time job? You started working just for a hobby? Adora, you need to be studying hard for your future right now. Don't waste your time on things like that and quit your part-time job, Sue. The fact she was able to do a part-time job without you noticing is pretty bad, Mom. A red MIDI controller, the first piece of music equipment I ever bought with my own money. That was along the lines of... Do you remember in... again, Power Wash. Power Wash Simulator 1. There was a carousel ride. And I watched that whole carousel. And I was like, what have I missed? I can't even see what I've missed. Where is what I've... You had to turn the carousel on and the horses went up and down and the poles had dirt on them as they were going up into the mechanism. I was like, no. Such a, that caught me out so badly. I wanted to tell her that it wasn't just a hobby, that I was serious, but before I could say anything, Mom said she was tired and headed towards her room. My words were met with the sound of her door closing shut. I was left alone in an all too familiar silence. I was angry at Mom for not listening to my words, but I kept trying to understand her. I thought she might change her mind if I showed her how serious I was. Much like how music had comforted me, I wanted Mom to feel comforted too, and if possible, with a song of my own creation. Oh, what I dreamed of. A red MIDI controller. Okay, Melody of Comfort. So this looks like it's a cassette tape deck. So it's to listen to her little first composed mixtape on, I guess. So let's give that a clean. Okay, so after that day, I spent every spare moment composing. Not only was it my first song, but it was a song for Mum. When I felt I'd poured enough of my heart into it, I recorded my song onto a cassette tape. I fervently hoped that it would bring her some comfort. Even if I couldn't fully convince her, if I could at least help her feel a bit better. When Mom came home exhausted as usual, I nervously handed her the tape. I wonder if we can hear the song. I thought if Mom listened to it, she'd understand how serious I was. It's kind of cute how flowers and things have grown. I mean, how long has she been away that literal plants have grown? Now I think we might be able to open the tape deck and clean inside it by the looks of this. But I'll just give the outside a quick scrub first. And possibly a quick toothpaste scrub as well. Toothpaste? No, we're not going to put toothpaste on it, She-Lab. Toothbrush scrub. Add all those cracks. Those pesky little headphone jacks. And there's a bit around here that needs a good toothbrush scrub as well, because that's all. I think that's done. Those look like they need a good scrub too. And possibly around these buttons again. Right, I think we're pretty good on the outside. Obviously, there'll probably be some pixel hunting still to do. And I imagine that if we record, play, pause, eject. And we'll find the tape inside. How on earth flowers grew onto a cassette tape? I have no clue. There we are. Gonna be a bit of a one to get some angles on, isn't it? Ugh. Didn't even realize that was dirt there. Good grief. It's completely coloured in. Right, we're on 93 at the moment. So I'm missing quite a large portion of this at this point. So what? Oh no, there isn't a tape in there. That's just the reels. It was hard to tell before, but now you can see it a bit better. Get in between the buttons a bit more. Oh, I know. Every time you press down a button, you'll get a little bit more in between the buttons to clean. Well, that gets us to 96. So let's, oh, right. Completely missed that edge. And then there were some bits along here too. Probably if I had zoomed in on that, I would have seen those ones. But that wasn't too bad. I'm pleased with myself for getting the buttons. You composed this yourself? Yeah, the melody came to me first, so I started with that. I'm still working on the lyrics. Oh, and there's another one. I'm preparing for a competition. The theme is... Hold up, Adora. Didn't I tell you last time? You need to focus on your studies. Mom, I know it might seem like only a hobby right now. But please, can you at least try listening? Adora, do you even hear what you're saying? How can you waste your time on this instead of studying for your future? I'm tired, so let's talk another time. Another time? When's that going to be? When you quit your job? As if that'll happen. Adora, I'm saying this for your sake. I'm serious about becoming a composer. I want to make it so you don't have to worry about money anymore. And people said I'm pretty talented, so... It's a hard grind and it's a hard world, Adora. It really is. It's hard to get attention in this world. Adora, I said no. Don't even think about it. Right now, you may feel like you're special. Talented? There's no word more meaningless. Don't get carried away because of a mere compliment. Praise proves absolutely nothing. Dad's cassette player, despite how old it is, it can still play tapes. Why was she so angry? I wonder whether maybe Mom had a past where she tried to do something creative and, like, got very let down by it, possibly. She seems like she'd had some maybe possibly hard knocks in her youth and just, she didn't... Yeah, she seemed like she was, like, kind of, especially with the cat and things like that, it was very much like she's always the one having to be practical about things, and I don't know, I kind of, there's a little bit of me that feels very sorry for the mum. Anyway, why was she so angry? Was she more tired than usual? Even now, I still don't know why Mum reacted so explosively. I never expected her to yell at me like that. Her fury left me speechless. I bet there's a story in her past. While I was stunned, she tore the tape from my hands and threw it in the trash. Without so much as a backward glance, she said, "Stop wasting your time on worthless things like this." At least she didn't pull the tape out. What she threw away wasn't only a cassette tape. Therein was the piece of my heart that held my drive to comfort Mum, despite the loneliness after Dad's passing. Even if hating her was the easier path, I didn't give up trying to understand her. But at that moment, when my heart was equated to trash, I felt something disappear from inside me. After Mum's rage quelled and the silence fell once again, I finally gave up trying to understand her. That's probably the saddest thing so far. The right to hurt. The music box was the last present I ever received from Dad. Whenever I felt lonely, I'd wind it up and talk to him as if he were right beside me. Dad, if you were still here, you would have supported me, right? Mom doesn't understand what it's like to have a dream, to have something you can't live without. I kind of bet Mom did, and I kind of bet Mom got her dreams dashed somehow. All she wants to do is fit into the mold. That's probably the only kind of life she knows. I cried for a long time, pouring out my anguish, listening to the music box play. It felt like Dad was sitting right next to me. She'll get in the attic and she'll find it full of Mom's art or something. You watch. After that day, I stopped waiting for Mom. I didn't even want to her to talk to me anymore. I had nothing to say to her. Let's get this box cleaned up. We seem to have some kind of vacuum cleaner or something, I think. I can almost guarantee you we possibly might need to get into the box. It looks like there's a catch on the front and there's a wind up key, so we might need to be doing something with that as well. I'll have a look in just a minute. I'll just give it a good scrubbing first around the outside. I think we want to go for the toothbrush now. I do feel like the attic is going to have something in it that is going to completely change her opinion of her mum. I can't wait to see what that is. So we are going to, no matter how long it takes, be playing this to, I think, to the end. We've got about 5 or 6 more levels to go, and we're on an hour and 23. So I don't think it should take longer than 2 hours to get through the whole thing. Unless there's some huge, massive thing to clean at some point. But I'm invested now, so we're going to keep going. Otherwise, we'd finish after, like, the next level. I think that would be a super unsatisfying video. Okay. Oh, the toothbrush is bringing up this quite nicely. But yeah, I would love this to have some kind of happy ending, because at the moment it's very bleak, isn't it? Oh my goodness, it's right on in there, isn't it? Good grief. The back of that done as well. It just didn't seem like the sponge was doing a lot on this thing, so the toothbrush needs to be better. I need to know what this is, though. What is it? It's an air blow gun. Oh, this seems to be very good at cleaning this. Cleaned the whole thing with the toothbrush before I realised, though. Okay, we need to go over the key a bit more with the toothbrush. I'm just going to zoom in a bit for that one. Let's have a look at the catch. Right, we might need this to do the interior of it. Yeah. Because that's going to be some very, very delicate stuff. Oh, I see. It needs time to charge. Right, okay, let's do the lid while we wait for that to charge up. And then we'll do the other little bit. That's like a terrible gun, like air blow gun there, isn't it? We have an air blow gun for computers that plugs into the mains. Computer cleaning purposes. All around there quickly. And then we'll blow air into that. Back there as well. I need to come back to that in a minute as well, because that needs some more air on it. Okay, that isn't really coming up very well with the sponge, so we'll use the computer for that. The computer? The toothbrush. All down there. I think we've got most of that. A little bit in there. A little bit in there. A little bit more down there. Okay, and then I will come back to that at the end. Let's scrub in the little corners in here that still need doing. And I'm going to, I think, have to sort of maybe just go over the back of this with the toothbrush. It's just a little bit hard to reach any other way. This is rough, this one. Right, we're at 89. That's it. It looks almost 100% clean. I'll give our quick toothbrush clean, but it may be that there's like dust inside still. All right, I think I'm gonna need my hints now. I'm pretty sure I can't really see. Yeah, how can it still be 10% dirty? Let's see. Oh gosh, it's all just little tiny bits as well. This is just horrendous. Okay, so I do need to get back in there with the duster thing, but with the hint on, I think. Oh gee, this is going to be rough, especially having to wait for it to charge. Get it like kind of that way around a bit. Come on, that might be better. Okay, so we've run out of charge. That's why I wanted to go for that first, because I knew that I'd have to wait for it to charge. And we can just go for a few of the other little bits and bats around. And I don't know how much I could maybe do with a toothbrush there, but... Okay, that's charged. There's a chance I might not be able to get this done as fully as I would like. That duster thing takes so long to charge up. Okay, duster's done. All in down there. Oh, I wonder. There we go. Okay. Still a couple of little tiny bits. I'm wondering if a toothbrush might be able to get that one off. I think there's more. So as it comes round, I'll just try and toothbrush it a bit. Okay, we're 99.98 and there's a tiny bit up in the corner there. If I get this to 100%, I will be extremely happy with myself, because this was a bit of a difficult one. Bits under the key there. That one. That one. Yay! Music box is done. Adora, can we talk for a minute? I'm busy right now. I'm sorry for how I acted. I must have been tired, so I got emotional. But it was for your sake, Adora. I don't want you to suffer. Right now, things may seem fun and exciting, so you might think that the road ahead will be easy. Someday you'll understand. For now, it would be better if you focused on your studies and kept composing as a hobby. Now I get why you're saying these things. You've never had anything you've truly wanted to do, have you? All you've ever done is live by other people's standards. That's why you don't understand how serious I am and what it's like to have something you can't live without. If Dad was here, he would have understood me. At least he would have thrown away my tape like that. He wouldn't have thrown away my tape like that. He wasn't anything like you. See, sometimes though, like in life, when there's a fun parent, there has to be a practical parent. And it's really a shame, because sometimes a child doesn't understand the difference between one that's trying to like really look after them and one that's just trying to be fun. And they're both important, but the fun one can sometimes get all the credit, even though the practical one might be the one kind of making everything work. So, you know, I again feel sorry for Mom, because she's kind of being made to be the villain when she's actually just trying to look after her kid. A music box that plays after you wind it, the last gift Dad ever gave me. I deliberately chose the words that would hurt her the most. I thought I had the right to, since she was the one who hurt me first. That's a growing up thing. That's 100% a growing up thing. Mom said nothing during my verbal onslaught. Her silence only fueled my rage, so my words became harsher, crueler, and more vicious. Mom quietly took my wrath. After the room fell silent, she left without a single word. Left alone, I picked up the music box and said to myself, "It's okay. That was nothing compared to what she did to me." Hurt people hurt. radiant stream. A camera. That has nothing to do with music, does it? Interesting. It was a peaceful weekend afternoon. I'd started to doze off after putting stickers all over Dad's camera. In my half-awake state, I could faintly make out Mum and Dad's voices as they quietly talked. I wanted to keep listening to their conversation, but before long, I fell asleep. Okay. Dad used to take pictures of me and Mum whenever he could. It looks like it might still work if I charge it. I'll try turning it on after cleaning it. Might find another something cool in there. Right, let's get all the plants off it and mushrooms and things. Might find a cool photo in there or something. I mean, it's probably got film that will need developing, so maybe not. Ah, okay. It's got like a viewfinder, so it might be digital. The fact that they had all Walkmans and tape decks and things like that was kind of making me think, made in Korea. It was kind of making me think that it was far enough back that it would be film cameras, but I think this one might be digital. So again, we'll just get the worst off with the sponge and then we'll go in with the toothbrush. Edges. Getting a bit more because I clearly didn't manage to do all of that. A little bit more around there. Big concentrate happening here. Getting around those buttons nicely. We're at 72. So there's definitely a moving part here somewhere with a load of dirt underneath it. But as much as there's probably bits I've missed, I haven't missed that much. That's so cute. It's got little flower stickers on. Cherries. Adora is adorable. Dirt underneath there that I just can't quite get off. There we are. Right, now let's play around with buttons. There's going to be, I would imagine, a button somewhere. There we are. And then the flash comes up. Yes, there we are. Okay. Give that a good scrub. Get in there with the toothbrush. Seems like it should come off. Yeah. And then I'll get into the flash housing. Oh, she put a smiley face sticker in the flash. Oh, that's so cute. Well, we're starting to look pretty clean. So, are there any other buttons that I've missed? Probably clean the viewfinder. There we are. Zoom. How much can we zoom it? That much. Just going to do that with the toothbrush, I think. Zoom, zoom. Anyone else want to go to sleep right now with this music? Right, we're on 98, so I think the bits I've missed are probably now. Just little bits and bobs around the place in little tiny corners. I've done this whole thing with without using the vacuum thinger, but I might need to use it for getting in that little corner. Yeah. Really toothbrush that, but possibly actually not. I might need it as well. I try to use it minimally because... Oh no, really? It takes a little while to charge it up, so... I don't want to... Is that it done? I think so. Right, so now we've just got a few toothbrushy bits around here that looked clean but weren't quite there. 99.9. And we're done. A Radiant Dream. Antique low pixel. An early digital camera, I think. Adora, did you finish your homework? Shh, she fell asleep after playing with the camera again. Haha, she really does love it. She's interested in so many things like music and writing. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? I only hope she doesn't become like me. You still have regrets about back then. You know, I thought you were so beautifully radiant. It's all in the past now. I was naive and foolishly chasing what was only a dream. Now I'm awake and live in reality. Let's not talk about this anymore, alright? Alright. Dad looks so sad. A now discontinued digital camera. It's decorated with stickers that I'd stuck on as a child. The camera contained a recording that I'd never seen before. Had I pressed the record button while I was asleep? The slanted video captured a long conversation between Mum and Dad. I found it difficult to understand. The Mum I knew always had seemed so ordinary. Suddenly I realised that perhaps the words I had so aggressively thrown at her that day meant more than I'd thought. That moment kept playing over and over in my mind. How silently she stood before my anger, how silently she left the room, followed only by the sound of the door closing. Chapter 2 complete. Chapter 3, What She Dreamed of. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more left to do. I think we will continue and do those. So let's get in there. This looks like a medal or something. Only Mom's room was left. Holding the old doorknob, I felt as if I were about to meet Mom herself after all this time. Her room was filled with boxes, all neatly labelled and sorted by purpose. Somehow it seemed like she knew she wouldn't be coming back. One box in particular caught my attention. Things I couldn't throw away. This box contained many trophies that I'd never seen before. Where did she get all of these from? I really don't know anything about Mom. Well, let's find out. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. Huh? This looks exactly like the symbol I saw on the teacup. Do we think Mom wanted to be a writer? Should have twigged that one from the ink earlier on. Okay, I think we'll need the cloth for the top part. I'm just going to quickly do that now. I want the larger parts done, and then we can pixel hunt the smaller parts. But yeah, this looks like a writing trophy. I think, in a way, it's better to have tried and failed at something. As long as you're not, like, I don't know, remortgaging your house for it or something, or putting yourself at huge risk for it. But it's better to at least try and give something a go than just not even to try. And as much as Mum was trying to, I think, protect her daughter in this one, I think she was still a bit wrong to not allow her to try. Just assuming that someone's going to fail before they've even given it a go. I think you're better off being, like, understanding that there's a good chance it might fail. Let them have a go. And if it all falls down, be there. Again, it brings back probably very painful memories of being feeling really let down. Whereas I don't get the impression that the dad ever went through that. Or if he did, he's doing a very good job of hiding it. So he's maybe more of the opinion that I am, that you should give it a go. So he may have wanted to do music and failed, but from the sounds of it, from what he's actually said to her, he just liked numbers and liked music. And there's a lot of people that do. Like, they are actually very closely related things, music and numbers. Okay, just get around there, get in there. It's weird how many people as well, that because I did a lot of choir and things when I was going through university, and the amount of people studying medicine that were in choirs. Good grief, so many. Seems to be a big thing between sort of whatever makes you want to do medicine. Okay, I'm gonna try this and see if I can get the... No. Okay, I think this is gonna have to be just a toothbrush job, but it is extremely stubborn. $99.1. Okay, so I don't think there's going to be any like weird moving parts or anything like that on this one. I think it's all just going to be pixel hunting now. So let's just see where the pixels are. So big bit down there. Little bit behind the pen. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare to get to. There we are. Little bit on there. It's a bit of a zoom. Oh, all the way under there. I am terrible with bits that are gold. Have you noticed that? Because the dirt is quite often a slightly gold colour and I struggle to tell them apart. And a little bit on there. And we're done. So we've got a PWG, like writing guild maybe? Dad, what's that? A trophy? Yep, I got this for winning first place in a math competition. Oh. There's me thinking that was Mom's, but no, it was Dad's. Okay. Cool, huh? So we still don't have an idea of what Mom wants to do. Wow, does Mom know? Well, there's no way you wouldn't show her something this cool. Of course she knows. I bragged about it all the time. But then she'd look at me with that sullen look and bring the box. The box? Adora, how about a snack? We have cheesecake. Dad, don't change the subject. Okay. Dad said it was his trophy, but it says writing competition first place Lily Meyer. It has the same symbol as the teacup. So Dad... Did Dad lie about that being his then? I don't know what's going on there. Okay. So I was right in that it was Mom's writing trophy then. So this was the box that Dad had mentioned. I took out a few trophies and read their plates. School writing competition, winner. Youth short story competition, excellence award. So she'd done well at writing. Novel contest, first place, all for Lily Meyer. These accolades demonstrated how much she'd achieved, and they were proof of the dream Mom once had. She was talented enough to win all of these awards. Why didn't she pursue writing as a career? And why did she stop me from chasing my dreams so badly? To you who has a dream. One after another, thoughts endlessly flowed through my mind. That is so sad. Our last moment. Typewriter. Things were never the same after Mom threw away my cassette tape. I couldn't pretend that nothing had happened. This animosity persisted after high school, as I left home to study music at a distant university. I told myself I wouldn't call her until I'd succeeded. Back then I believed that once I graduated university, success would easily find its way to me. However, just as Mum had warned, the world was much colder than I'd thought. Awards and words of praise became more and more meaningless. The further I drifted from success, the more I avoided calling Mom, the one person that would have understood. I could already hear what she'd say. That's why I told you to stop. I told you it'd be a waste of time. I wasn't ready to hear those words to my face. Even after I had to change my phone number, I couldn't bring myself to call her. After some time, I received an unexpected call from my aunt. Mum had passed away. I thought I'd be able to call her anytime I wanted, but I didn't have the courage to. That would mean I'd have to admit that she was right all along. Oh, poor Dora, she was like me, lost her parents really early, really young. Right. You know what? I bet I could have used that to like proper dust. See, I don't use this enough, do I? At all. It's a very good tool, but you don't get to use it for long. So I'll just scrub the bottom of that a little bit. Okay, let's get the toothbrush in around these little knobbly bits while we wait for the vacuum to charge up, and then I'll try and get into the mechanism of the thing. We might have to press down keys and things to properly get it done. Yeah, that's a bit better. There's still some more to do there, though. That might need a... I don't know. Actually, maybe I'll get that with a toothbrush, but that might need a little vacuum over as well. Boom. All right, that's now. I keep missing it when it does its ding. I need to be listening out for that, because that's when it's ready again. Just gonna get in between the keys with it. I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do that. I'm going to sponge the bottom again. Because as much as that is amazing, the duster thing, it's also limited use. So for I think I should save it for things like getting in between the keys and stuff like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And we'll get in there at the end as well. I don't know if I'll be able to get behind there. Oh, I can. That's perfect. A little bit of extra cleaning around the side here. Come on. Toothbrush down there. In there, around there. This is very, there's a lot of little corners on this one, huh? Let's go and do the feet. I am 1000% not gonna be able to finish this without the hint, I don't think. I'm glad I got my achievement on the earlier levels. I don't know if there might be an achievement for doing all of them without a hint. But I think you'd need a certain amount of tenacity to do that. I consider myself a very tenacious person, but that might, even that might be a bit beyond me. So, especially while I'm on camera, I'm less inclined to spend time. That isn't coming off. Is that just part of the typewriter, maybe? A bit of a dent in the paint. Okay, hints unlocked now. Lovely. So I feel like that might have a her. Expecting maybe something in the track. Oh, in fact, let's try the track in case that is dirt in there, not just a different color. I'm terrible for thinking it's a different color when it's actually not. Anything else I can do? I got an achievement for pressing the typewriter keys. Hang on. All right, there's still loads of dirt on there, actually. Get that toothbrush in there. Okay. Still loads and loads and loads. Oh, yes, I can get the toothbrush in there. I was thinking I'd have to do that with the vacuum, but no, that's okay. There's still loads around the keys. A little bit down there around the base as well, in that little groove. Okay, I can see something in there. Can we get it? Can we get it? Yes. Okay, and then it really is the pixel hunting brigade again, isn't it? Gold makes it so hard to see dirt. See that there? Do you even see it? When you don't have the hint on? Kind of crazy. I'm very, very, very glad. as a hint. Right, let's turn the whole thing upside down. And that'll help me get underneath there. Underneath the... I don't know what the word is for the arm that makes the typewriter go backwards. See something around a key there, look. Oh, behind the space bar. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Behind that one. Over there. Okay, we're at 99.65. And I'm running out of hint places. There's a tiny bit there. Feel like I might need to press a few keys and get the typewriter back into its original position. If I can. There we are. Sorry, I had already pressed the keys and got the typewriter back in its original position. What I needed to do is not have it in the original position. I see you. That was... Oof. Are you leaving? If I don't go now, I'll be late for my flight. You have a lot of luggage. I'll drive you to the airport. It's fine. I know you're busy. I'll be going now. Adora. I bet Mom was absolutely heartbroken. A typewriter that looks like a prop from a black and white film. It seems that Mom typed her stories on it. Come to think of it, that was the last conversation we ever had. I had left without looking back, determined to return only when I had succeeded. I wanted to prove Mom wrong. But that door I shut so firmly never opened again. I opened the small drawer at the bottom of the typewriter. Inside were sheets of paper and the attic key. Most of the papers were stories that Mom had written. The rest seemed to be contracts. Among the papers were a few letters that began with the salutation, Dear Mrs. Lily Meyer. I picked up a letter that was filled with writing. Dear Miss Lily Meyer, it's been some time since I last penned a letter to you. I recall in your previous letters that you've been a fan of mine for some time now. I wanted to let you know that I read the story you sent this time as well. Please understand that I say this for your sake. I've read your works for a long time now, and they lack any aspect of exceptionality. Certainly, you could make a livelihood out of your writing, but I doubt that standard alone would be satisfactory for you. I understand your desire to be a writer. However, discretion is sometimes the better part of valor. I believe your time would be better spent in another field of work. I truly apologize for conveying these words much too late. Sincerely, Louis. Oof. But that's like one person's opinion. Someone else might think she's absolutely exceptional. Like, I don't think that anyone, no matter how popular or amazing they think they are the gatekeeper to exceptionality. That kind of annoyed me. It's the same with YouTube. Like, there are people that are like, yeah, well, you don't do everything perfectly, so you're not exceptional enough to be watched or loved or whatever. And I'm like, nah, it's rubbish. If one person thinks I'm great, that's fine. If one person thinks I'm great and one person thinks I'm rubbish, then who's right? You know? And you could say it's about numbers. I don't even know if it's about that. I think it's about whether you're happy with your work, whether maybe a few other people enjoy it. That's it. Okay, anyway. I'll get off my soapbox now. Words left unsaid. Gonna clean a phone, a rotary phone. Louis was the name of Mom's favourite writer. The writer she admired, the one who might have even inspired her to pursue writing. I couldn't begin to imagine how it'd feel, sorry, if someone I respected told me to give up. I imagined Mom opening the letter, hoping to find praise or encouragement, but the further she read, the greater the despair on her face. If a composer I admired had said the same to me, I wouldn't have been able to take it either. And that's the thing, like, just because, say, like, she made some music and then she gave it to, I don't know, like, let me think. Maybe she gave it to, like, Paul McCartney or something, and he said it was rubbish. But then she gave it to Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga might have loved it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, they're going to have all different opinions on things, and you can't just take one person's opinion and give up. I wouldn't have been able to take it either anyway. I just feel so sad for that mom, and I knew I would. I knew something like this was going to have happened to her, and that I was going to feel really angry on her behalf. Let's clean this phone to make ourselves feel better, okay? Yeah, some people just, they think that because they're successful at something, that they're the absolute expert on like everything everyone else is doing, and that's kind of the impression I get of this Louis guy. Or Louis girl, actually. I don't know whether that's a sort of a Lois or a Louis. Regardless of gender. Point stands. God, this phone got mucky, huh? I was not expecting quite so much heaviness when I picked this up, but I'm starting to see why this has got so many really good reviews though, because it's just, someone has pulled into their absolute little heart and soul for this game. It's probably come from some really hard personal experience, like all the best art is. And I absolutely resonate with so much of it. Okay. Wow, these stains. Yuck. It's so funny because I'm going between, you know, like existential, life-changing, la la la, all of this, to look at this stain on this. Let's get that off. It feels so funny. But yeah, these are much harder and I kind of need the toothbrush for them a bit. I'm not sure where I'm going to need the vacuum. I get kind of... the vacuum is a bit much sometimes because it runs out so fast. And I'm like, no. But maybe... Right, those buttons are probably going to need pushing down to uncover parts of them. I may need to dial the phone as well. We're at 81, so yeah. I might even need to see if I can lift the receiver off. Right, let's see if there's anything interactable that we can do, because the phone's looking a lot nicer now. Okay. Oh, I was waiting for that. Gotta clean in between while it's moving. Let's get in between the buttons. Honestly. This is like challenge mode, isn't it? I don't know whether one of the buttons might hold the buttons in place. There we are. Had a feeling about that one. Right, got my hints unlocked now, so at least we can see if there's anywhere particular we're missing, but... Let's get the phone... Sorry, let's get the duster over these as well, just in case that's going to maybe get something out of it. Right. 88 we got to. Actually, there's still a little bit more around here we can do. When we usually get to around about 90% before I start to need to. So I'm gonna just sort of work on all the buttons and all the little bits around the handset that I've missed. Never ask me to clean a phone, clearly. I'll miss all the bacteria on it. I might need to turn the handset back up, actually. I'll do the underneath bits first. The underneathy bits. I can definitely still see some dirt like showing up in the handset dial thing. Oh, good grief. I didn't ever go over this with a toothbrush. No wonder. Look at the state of that. Man. Okay, that's all good, I think. More around the handset. Actually, that might be the holder that's actually dirty there. Is it gold? Yeah, of course it is. Anything the color gold in this will basically not get cleaned. Don't worry, I don't have any gold things in my house. $1.99 for a wrap up, so that's great. If I need to, I can. Obviously, I'd like to try to grab everything, but it might be a bit rough. Some bits might be underneath. I'll turn that phone back up the other way in a second. As soon as I can't see any more orange bits I can get to, turn it back up and we'll see if it's easier that way. Come on. Some of them are taking some time. I don't know whether zooming would be the way forward on that. It's one of the last levels, so it doesn't surprise me that it's a bit tricky. Gotta give people a challenge as they progress through, right? Come on, you. Oh, man. Okay, that's that one done. No, not even slightly, apparently. Just gonna get the toothbrush all over there and hope it just catches the bits I need. Nope, still not. Is that button pressed down at the moment? It is. That's why the button needs to come up. Right, that's it. I think that's cleaned up now. Lovely. We're at 99.7. Right, no more obvious stuff. So I'm thinking either under buttons, tiniest, weeniest bit there, or in here somewhere. So I'm just gonna... Oh, okay. That is... Just like... Keep pulling it around. See if I can see any more. Any more on there. Which I can't. Okay, let's flip the phone back over. Right, it's a little tiny bit just in here. That button. Oh, that was a tough one. If I had called first, words left unsaid, that's always the saddest thing about someone passing away. It's when you don't get a chance to say the things you want to say to them. I'm really fortunate in that I don't really have anybody in my life that's passed on where I've had words left unsaid. So I've, you know, my grandparents and things, I've managed to go and see them and all that sort of thing before they passed away and go and sort of say goodbye. And, you know, my mum passed very suddenly, but I didn't have really anything left unsaid with her that I felt was sort of, we didn't have any beef or anything like that. We were doing good in our relationship at the time. So, you know, I haven't had to deal with this, and I don't know how I'd cope if I had to, honestly. I think I'll be admitted to the hospital soon. Could you help me tidy up the house? Please, I don't have anyone else I can ask to do this. Lily, don't say that. I still have the spare key, so I'll go by when I have time. Thank you. Before you come, I'll put away things like the trophies. Strange, isn't it? Back then I was so desperate to forget everything. But when I was cleaning the house and saw my typewriter and all those trophies, I remembered the days when I wrote so happily. Why do we only realise how precious something is after we lose it? Writing. And Adora. Lily, have you called Adora? I tried calling her 2 days ago, but she didn't answer. Maybe she changed her number. I left a voicemail, but I'm not sure if she heard it. If I were brave enough to call her sooner, would we still be in touch right now? Back then, I thought the best thing to do was give her time. But now there's no time left. A landline phone. By calling a specific date, you can hear recordings from that day. The call was between my mom and my aunt. From her voice and coughing, I could hear how difficult it was for Mom to talk. After I left home, my pride and drive to prove myself held me back from contacting Mom. All this time, I never once thought about how Mom must have felt. I didn't think she'd regret what she'd done, nor did I know that she'd called me. If I'd just called her when I changed my number. People quite often think it's all about, like, proving themselves when they're young, and then quite often you realise as you get older that it's about connection. Things don't always have to be perfect, and they don't have to be exceptional necessarily. They can just be good. Right, let's get into this one. A letter from the past. And we're nearly done. It's been a long episode, I know, but at the point where we got to the hour-and-a-half mark, I knew that I wanted to finish this, and I wanted to finish it in one video. So as I looked at the old attic key I found in Mom's typewriter, it reminded me of the excuse that brought me back home. Finding my aunt's necklace. Maybe she knew everything and sent me here on purpose. I held the rusted key in my hand. It felt cold and hard, but also somehow warm. As I cleaned the key, Mom and Auntie's conversation continued. Mom, I felt like I was looking at myself. When Adora said that someone had called her talented, she was just like my young, naive self. It was too painful to see her talking with those bright eyes full of hope. At that moment, I wasn't looking at Adora, but rather the child I used to be. And you didn't want her to ever have to get that letter. You'd rather be the villain than have her get that letter. You can do a lot of harm by thinking that you're protecting someone, you know? The amount of people that I know that have maybe like have cut off contact from a relative because the relative just won't stop telling them what to do. And all that relative probably wants is for them to not have to go through pain and to, you know, not make a mistake. But sometimes, like, you just have to let people make their own mistakes. It's really hard. That is a hard thing to do. Let people make their own mistakes. Especially if you think you know better. Especially if you've had experiences. This should be quite a quick level at this point, I think. Unless there's something else that'll magically pop up afterwards. But I think we're just going to get the end of the story now. What a, like I say, someone's poured their absolute soul into this story, and I really, really appreciate that. A lot of vulnerability in it. The key is very pretty. Okay, we're at the wrap-up stage now. It's a bit under there. I'm going to take a hint and just grab the last little scraggly bits that are hiding from me. Okay, we're at 99.95. There you are, you little pixel. Nothing left undusted. Clear every last speck, all objects to 100%. The attic key that I found inside the typewriter. What will I find in the attic? I want to know now what's in the attic. A journal. The recording ended with a violent cough from Mom. I was left stunned, my heart painfully heavy. After some time, I collected myself and headed to the attic, with key in tow. The attic had always been Mom's private space. When I snuck in as a child, it looked more like a storage room than somewhere fun, so I often wondered why Mom liked using it. I'll be her journal. As if to answer that question from my childhood, I found an old desk and a chair in one corner of the room. On the desk laid a necklace and a dusty journal with an all too familiar name. If I never came back to this house and cleaned it, if I had left those mementos undisturbed beneath dust, I would never have learned about Mom's true feelings. I had a feeling that this diary had been waiting here all this time, just for me. I carefully brushed away the thick dust and opened it. That day, when Adora handed me her tape, with such excitement on her face, I could see the hope in her eyes, that innocent face certain she could realize her dream. I knew that face well. I was afraid that she'd curse her wasted years and regret everything. I need to stop this now. For her sake I chose to be harsh. I believed that her hating me was the lesser of two evils. When I started to tidy up Adora's belongings, I was able to see the remnants of her dreams in my hands. Through them, I could feel her sorrows and joys. That was when I looked back on my past, my younger self, who I'd thought naive and foolish, was shining as brilliantly as those traces of Adora. I've wanted to tell her my true feelings, but I can't reach her anymore. All I can do is wait. I hope you return one day so I can tell you this. Adora, it was thanks to you that I was able to face myself again. Even though I was ashamed of my past, I was happy to see a part of myself in you. I had hurt you so gravely, yet you brought me comfort. I should have said this to you sooner. No matter what path you choose to walk, no matter how you live your life, I will always love and support you. Mom's diary ended there. After closing it, I noticed a letter laying on a corner of the desk. There was also something I thought I'd never see again. The cassette tape that I recorded my first song on. She took it out of the bin. I put the tape into the cassette player and opened the envelope. The letter inside contained lyrics which seemed to accompany my song. I slowly recited Mum's lyrics. My novice melody and her poetic verses complemented each other well, as if they'd always been together from the very start. What would you do to see those lost birds once again? Looking above, your eyes danced with the dawning sky. Gleaming with hope, they were clear as crystal. Was it me who dusted everything? Bright in my dream, you're singing to the moon and stars, even lighting up my room behind you. And someone needs to stop cutting onions in my room. That was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunned by that story. That was so pretty. And soulful and full of all sorts of feelings.
What would you do to see those lost birds once
I'll let this
again?
play.
What can I do to hear them sing? Would you walk through me those wide, or search through lonely streams? If there's any chance to see them once again. Looking above, your eyes dance with a dawning sky. Gleaming with hope, they were clear as crystal. Was it me who dusted everything right in my dream? You're singing to the moon and stars, even lighting up my room behind you. Will you be back to see your lemon trees in bloom? Will you be there to hold my hands? And we walk through hills and towns, or run through crowded streets. If you have some time to see me once again. Looking above, your eyes dance with a dawning sky. Gleaming with hope, they were clear as crystal. Was it me who dusted everything bright in my dream? You're singing to the moon and stars, even lighting up my room behind you.
And there we are, I think. I don't normally let credits run to the end, but I feel like after unlocking the whole story about that song, it would have been kind of almost criminal not to oh, mom's behind her and the oh, I'm glad we saw that too. But it would have been criminal not to have like gone through and listened to that song. And it was lovely to see all the bits that we'd all the bits and pieces that we'd cleaned dotted throughout the credits as well. So that was gorgeous. So that's going to be it from me. I played the whole thing, so no more to do, I guess. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, then please do leave me a like below. If you'd like to see more things like this, then please subscribe. I'll let you know when videos are out. Hope to see you next time. In the meantime, please look after yourselves and keep being awesome.